The Pitt win 38-7. I don't think there was any question out of people that watched the game of college football that going into the game that Miami was the better team, but that Pitt could present some problems. They did not. It was 38-7. It was fairly close there in the first quarter or so. And then Miami took over from there. Cold and weather conditions aside, not that they were bad, but just unfamiliar to the Canes. And again, a 38-7 demolition.
Excuse me, Jesus. Yeah. Really went and handled business. Sorry. Had to do something real quick. Bingo, bango, bongo. And then we close that. Yeah. It just took a couple drives. And like the thing is, you can't have a blowout immediately at the beginning of a game. Like you have to have drives to put points on the board. And, you know, as I leave open, like, okay, we had a punt on the first drive, had a bad drop by Keelan Marion. Fine. You know, so they go 3 and out, lose 13 yards. We get a first down, but then punt. Then we give them another 3 and out right quick. And then we scored on our next 5 real drives, not including the end of the first half, which, you know, we were backed up, and that's not like a real scoring opportunity. But yeah, as soon as we got going, it was it. And like we gave up a deep pass and a couple runs and a couple penalties on their one scoring drive. Outside of that, they crossed the hold on. They crossed. So they had a missed field goal after they scored a touchdown. In their last 6 drives, they crossed their own 31-yard line once. And that was on the drive that we stopped them on 4th down. Like it was, I mean, it was truly men amongst boys. Like we did to them what we do to, or, you know, routinely do to teams and have done to teams this year. We won up front, and Malachi Tony is incredible. Gerard Pringle had another nice day, 10 for 82, almost half of that on the 138-yard carry, but that was hitting the hole that was there that we missed against Virginia Tech. So making that play go, Carson back another, you know, 80% completions. Yes, he had the ball he wanted to pull back that got intercepted, but I mean, 23 for 29, 3 tuds, 267. Malachi Tony with another touchdown. Burn the Mark Fletcher pass option play, burn it with fire. No, he's not the guy. He's not the guy for that. But yeah, no, we have better dudes. And when they're playing the way that they can play, this is what it's going to look like. And, you know, Pat Narduzzi talked all that game about not caring about the Notre Dame game and abdicating that game because his team embodied what he said. They didn't even give opposition to Notre Dame, but saying, hey, if we go win the next 2. Now, they did what we needed to beat Georgia Tech. We didn't get any other help to make the ACC championship game, but whatever. But this is what it looks like. Like, we have a clearly better roster. We have way more talent than them. And when we play to our standard, this is how things are going to go. You know, shout out to Malachi Tony breaking Amon Richards' freshman receiving record. He's now 2 catches away from the all-time single-season receptions record as a true freshman. Today named the ACC Rookie and Offensive Rookie of the Year for his incredible performance. And 3 or 4 of those 13 catches were on jet touch passes, but whatever, give him the ball. But also you see 8 receivers, I do believe, and, you know, Marty Brown, 1 catch was a touchdown. Elijah Lofton, 1 catch was a touchdown thrown by Malachi Tony. JoJo Trader, 1 catch, big 10-yard play. Dalen Upshaw, 1 catch, doing his best Malachi Tony jet touch pass impression there. You know, yeah, it was just, and CJ Daniels finally getting back in the scorebook, really. And especially with the touchdown at the end. Look, I know Steve Sarkisian wants to try to talk stuff because, like, you want to pick out people to belittle to make your case. for the college football playoff. First of all, they lost to a team that we dominated. I don't want to hear anything from Texas. Thanks, bye. Second of all, we were running the ball with Marty Brown, third string running back, and Pat Narduzzi started calling timeouts. But you want to call timeouts? Blur up top. Cool. Because we were cool with 31-7. That's how we were operating. Now you want to try to extend the game. Now you want to call timeouts? Up top. And then Bryce Fitzgerald ends it with the interception. Yeah, that was a clinic. So love to see it. Emphatic victory. A larger margin of victory against Pittsburgh than Notre Dame had. We had a larger margin of victory in 3 of 4 common opponents. Although the College Football Playoff Committee says it's typed in their rules that they are not incenting margin of victory, so margin of victory and style points are not part of the consideration. So says their criteria, but we know that they're liars anyway, so whatever. But regardless of anybody else, this is what I've been talking about Miami handling Miami's business, doing what we need to do, how we need to do it consistently. And we did that. So very, excited with that. 10 wins 2 years in a row for the first time since 04-05 or 03 and 04, one of those two. I think it was 04 and 05. But whatever. It's been 20 years. So that is a step forward. That is objectively good. I was talking with a friend of mine the other day. I remember being on this here show in the summer, and we were going through permutations of, well, I predicted 11-1. You said 10-2. Other people said 10-2, but then we were doing the game theory of like, so what does 10-2 look like? And I said, Miami lost to 2 teams that are both 8-4. They're quality teams, but you're gonna there's no good loss. You know what I mean? Like you will have played down below and lost to a team that you're more talented than and going to be, favored in those games. It said that then, and that unfortunately came to pass. So that is a fly in the ointment for sure. But based upon the on-field result, the on-field performance, Miami is looking really, really good. I'm not going to sit here and try to make sense out of nonsense and try to convince people who have already made their mind up that Miami is not a college football playoff team. The team is playing some of its best football that we've seen. I think it's even better than the beginning of the year when we got up to number 2 because there's diversity of scheme on offense and Carson Beck really being comfortable in his own skin and own body and own arm now and everything. But, hey, I feel what I feel. And I've also said that 10-2 with, 6-2 in conference and not making the ACC championship game is going to mean that we're going to be on that side looking in, same as last year. And I unfortunately believe that to be true, regardless of the results this next weekend. I know that people I even see people in the chat asking the question, and we'll talk about it, about, well, what about the results and how, and Hunter Yurachek said, well, teams can move up and down. He's a liar. It's a coordinated campaign against Miami. Whatever. Like, y'all believe that if you want to. The ship has sailed for me. But, this is a very good team. It will be a crying shame not to be in the college football playoff because last year we were half a team. Now, the half a team that we were was incredible with the number 1 offense in America. This is a complete team. This is a team that would, other teams want to keep us out because they're scared about seeing us in the playoffs. But they're not going to see us in the playoffs because we're going to be kept out. And there ends my opening soliloquy.